Hi everyone, how are you? This is your Dr. Sahin. I hope you all are doing really well. Really, as you know, I have to mention it because it's literally exactly what I am doing, and then the next day I see something in the news. So about yesterday's International Women's Day, right? So I did a short live because right away I wanted to share my thoughts about the International Women's Day, why it is in my opinion, I immediately thought about the women in Gaza and how many women have died. And I found it a little bit weird and odd to celebrate the successes of women. Yeah, sure. But at the same time, there are so many innocent and so many women with so much potential have been killed. And so I wanted to acknowledge that and say, because I really felt to say that, and I haven't talked about this for so long. As I mentioned, I talk about Gaza and how women died, and that I felt like in the International Women's Day to talk about that. But then this morning I saw in the news that Meghan Markle, gave a speech in the International Women's Day and said at 11 years old she did a commercial, and then a guy in class said, yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen. And then in the panel apparently was Brooke Shields, and I like Brooke Shields, but I really don't like Meghan Markle for a variety of reasons. She has a huge amount of narcissistic tendencies. I'm not saying she's a narcissist, I'm saying she has a huge, very clear narcissistic tendencies, and I'll tell you exactly why. And then Brooke Shields apparently said, oh girl, I want to talk with you because when I was 11 years old, I had to play a prostitute. And then I was thinking, and then I was looking, there's this huge panel, as you know, like these women and panels, like they get these like high society people, women in these type of panels, and then they talk about their experiences. Listen, every woman experienced this kind of crap, okay? I just said it. And I just said what happened in the live stream. I was literally being called princess as I was speaking something very serious about Gaza and people's death, okay? And so that happens to all of us. But I would wish that instead of focusing on me, like Meghan Markle always finds the way to put everything about her, and that is a narcissistic tendency. It doesn't mean a narcissism, it means like narcissistic tendency or selfishness, but hers is more narcissistic tendencies, and for a variety of reasons. It's okay for people to share their trauma. Like, for example, Harry shares the way Harry does these things and talks about these things because he's really damaged. He really shares, he wants to burst it out, all his trauma. And I cannot even get my head around how much trauma he has inside of him. And he just wants to burst it out. And I can't blame him because obviously, me being in Germany, I have been following pretty much their entire life. So with Diana at that time. In any case, what I'm saying is Meghan Markle is quite different. She tries to do it in the same way, but in a very weird twist of putting the focus on a very not coming from trauma, but more of me focused. I wish that these women, if you come on these platforms as a panel speaker about women's rights or women's whatever, then talk about actually the women's rights and the women who are actually going through some horrific challenges in this world right now. That's where we need to focus on. That's where the most effort needs to be transferred. We as women need to do that instead of talking about some schnick-schnack things that people experience but still live a phenomenal life more than all of us. Then there is a huge misunderstanding of the concept here. That's not what International Women's Day is all about. So we need to distinguish that, and I encourage all these women associations, women's societies, really pay attention to that. And we as women need to protest that, because that's not what this day should be all about. All women, if you talk about equality, all women are equal. Also, not the women who cannot be on that stage, deserve to be on the stage, but cannot be on the stage. So if you are on the stage, then you also need to be representative of some folks that cannot be on the stage. Do you see my point?